right, guys, we are back with another great episode of Basscast Radio. I am Brian, your host, and back with us again tonight, Hank the Bass Geek. What's going on, brother?
Man, not a lot. The smallmouth spawn bites going on. I'm trying to get out on the water as much as I can. But, the man's always keeping me down. Got a storm on my head. I got to work this week.
Dang.
So, I had to do the taxes last week. Got to go out fishing one day. Took a buddy of mine and literally pulled up on my first spot. Bam, 5-pounder, 5-pound smallmouth. I looked at him and was like, dude, I hope you know that's a trophy smallmouth.
Yeah, no joke. That's awesome, brother.
I think we caught like 16 pounds in the first 4 fish off that first spot.
Wow. Congratulations on that, by the way.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's pretty awesome. So congratulations. Yeah, guys, here, real quick, the basscast.com headed out. We had our kayak series event, stop number 2. We had a BFL on Smith Mountain Lake. That went really well. I think it ended up being 150 boats, 300 anglers, and all 350 weighed in. I was there 3.5 hours. But it's
wow.
Yes, literally. I'm not lying. I got there 2:30. I left at 6:30. I told them I've had enough and I'm going home. And I'm hungry. And a fat kid needs to eat. So we did get what we needed, though. But we got everything straight. We had 8 bags over 20 pounds.
Golly.
Yeah. So, as you said, the spawning bass are on. The bed fish are there. I mean, it's like pick them up and bring them on back with you. So, congratulations to everyone that cashed a check there. Then we went down to Bugs Island. And the Chad and Elliott Pilsen won day 1. And I can't not remember. I got a lot in my mind right now. Not day 1, but event 1 and event 2. Because Angler's Choice do back-to-back. That way they help. And, you ain't got to burn a lot of vacation. You go down there and pre-practice. And if you sucked event number 1, you practiced for day number 2. So, yeah. So we went down there and hung out. Got a little wet. But other than that, it was an awesome weekend here at the basscast.com. But guys, we're gonna roll into this because we got one out on the water tonight. He's got 18% battery left. I love it. You gotta love it here. But guys, this dude has been on before. Let me open this up to the right little location here. We have with us tonight Trey McKinney, guys. We had him back on. He's only 18 years old now. But I reshared it on Basscast Radio's Twitter page, as well as the Basscast Radio Facebook page. Guys, in 2018, FLW Junior Championship in the same year. In 2021, he wins the Major League Fishing Illinois Division Angler of the Year. Oh, yeah, he won the 2018 Bass and FLW Junior Championship. And this year, guys, he's fishing the Opens, man. Just wrapped up Toledo Bend, 2nd place. Besides the winner, he was the only other angler that had 3 days of 20-plus pound bags at 18 years old. I mean, a dude is like, even in that podcast, I said, he's a phenom. And I ain't gonna lie to you guys. It might not be next year at the Bassmaster Classic, but it's going to be one really freaking soon. Hopefully before he turns 20, this dude is going to be up on the stage holding up some big old bass.
Listen, he might be up on the big stage on the Elites next year with the way he's going.
That is very true. And like I said, there's only 2 events in. He's cashed a check in both of them and a 2nd place check, by the way, guys, on Toledo Bend. So congratulations to him. And we're going to have him on here really, really quick. But before we do, guys, do you struggle remembering what fishing patterns worked for you years ago in cloudy weather, in summer, on a specific lake, in a specific water? Visibility. Are you tired of journaling your fishing experience on pen and paper? The Fish It Logbook app is your solution. Built by anglers for anglers. Just log your fishing patterns at the end of the day in under a minute. and have it captured forever. That's not all. The app goes to work for you and presents you with a detailed insights, statistics about your fishing performance by revealing averages related to your technique, cover, structure, weather, water visibility, and many more. Know your numbers like any other professional angler knows their numbers. Available on Google, Play Store, and Apple Store. Fish It app. Go download it today. And we'll be right back with Mr. Trey McKinney. Trey McKinney, what is happening, brother? Welcome back to Basscast Radio. I looked it up. We had you on like 2 years ago.
God, it don't seem that long ago.
Yeah, it doesn't seem that long, but man, we appreciate you coming back on and talking to us. You know, I went back and looked up the podcast and reshared it, and I labeled you a phenom then. And dude, you're still let's before we talk about Toledo Bend, let's catch up a little bit, man. What's been going on with Trey since he's angler of the year, junior champion, you name it. I mean, what's been going on with you, brother?
So, like I said, it's been such a blessed achievement. Like I said, angler of the year. Actually, ended up getting twice. Last year, I ended up doubling it. I won angler of the year again on the BFL side of things, and this year, I'll tell you what, it was just one of them things where it was such a blessing to be able to do it. But St. Croix had a spot opening for the Opens. And I was like, I've been doing the BFLs. I made it to the All-American this year. So I'll be fishing at Hartwell for that. So I end up second at La Crosse this year.
Okay.
And I was like, just kind of dwelling on it. I mean, that's a big step. I mean, it costs a lot of money to do that.
Oh, yes.
And stuff like that. And all of a sudden I started getting backing from sponsors and everything else like that. And like, hey, let's go for it. I'm like, hey, let's all in, right? I mean, so that's the goal this year. We're going to try to make it to the elites. Like I said, we're sitting 5th in points right now after the first 2. And then, so, I mean, it's going amazing, phenomenal. I mean, as anything, I end up getting, like I said, 2nd at Toledo and 19th at Eufaula.
Congratulations on that.
Yeah, heck of a way to start.
Yeah, no joke.
Thanks, buddy.
What do you think has been, besides having already some success at 16 years old, guys? He's only 18, by the way. What do you think's been the key to most of this stuff, man?
I'll tell you what, I mean, anything else is confidence, positivity, confidence. Fishing's a very mental sport. I mean,
yes.
For me, I feel like fishing is one of them that, man, if I don't have confidence in a bait, like for say, I mean, this one right here, this one has got me everywhere I've ever been, this little jig right here. And I'm telling you what, like, just having a confidence bait like that, man, everything's going down the drain. You feel like tournaments you're on them in practice, and it's just all the way down to the rock bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, it's one of them baits that I can just pick up right there and just go fishing. That's another thing is don't be afraid to just restart, even though that practice was this way. You got history. You caught one 5 years ago here. I mean, and that's like home lake fishing. I think that's what does me a lot of hurt sometimes is I fish so much history. I mean, you'll see some guys like local hammers. I mean, they stay on them, but the best I've ever done local fishing is just show up. I think about it that night. And I'm like, let's fish it. Let's go fishing, right? So I get there at 6:00 at a ramp, give my money, and we go fishing. And I think with fishing, that's a lot of it. Staying in good mindset, not letting stuff get to you. I mean, if you lose one, you're gonna get the next one. I mean, I think that's a lot
that's
of
awesome.
On that messes with a lot of people on some things. But that's one thing I think the Lord's blessed me with is being able to stay positive and look forward for His path and go for it.
So, as a young angler, you haven't been to a lot of these lakes. I mean, a lot of these lakes are brand spanking new to you. And, we all talk about now that YouTube, you got Bass Geek right there, on YouTube, but, there's a whole lot of things that you can reach out to that a lot of anglers didn't have in the past unless it just went. I mean, that was it. There was magazines and papers, and that was all. We didn't have the social media we have now where you can reach out to people. What's been some of your keys before you go to a new location?
I'll tell you what, just what you said, watching videos on a lot of different people. And I mean, people can slip up and give you things that they don't even realize sometimes. I mean, you can get so many times in videos. I mean, people that's just thinking, that's a nothing factor. They don't think about it, just kind of this. But I mean, it's like asking somebody questions. You can ask a lot of people a lot of general questions, but get a lot of the facts you're wanting out of it. Okay, so I mean, before you ask a question, you're not going to be like, "Hey, did you catch him on a drop shot?"
Right.
And then, I mean, you can go at it as, have you ever caught a big fish on a drop shot? And they're like, yeah, man, I caught a big one the other weekend. And then you called them up. I mean, it's the same thing on that type of thing. So I feel like a lot of people in those videos give you a lot of information on those type of things, new lakes. Google Maps is a super good one.
Yes.
I'm a shallow water guy. By heart. And I mean, you go back, data log way back there, and all of a sudden everything's just dry, and there's a giant stump. You mark that, giant stump, rocks. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah.
For sure. I think on our next tournament, I've done that, and I think I found quite a few good areas on that type of thing. But really, just kind of watching the water level. Tournament results is good. You kind of get what you're feeling. I mean, it's a 20-pound lake. Is it a 15? Is it a 10? Is it a 25? That kind of just gets you in that general area. Like, I mean, I looked at Bugs Island. I mean, it seems like a 16 to 20-pound bag usually. I mean, that's a pretty general area of what it's going to take to win. So, I mean, it's like I said, just getting familiar with it before you get there, type of thing. I mean, if it saves you a day, just a day of a 4.5 day of practice by just doing research, going through there, looking at the lake, I mean, that's totally worth it. Totally worth it. Just if it saves you 4 hours, really, it's totally worth it. Because, I mean, time's ticking on that type of stuff. You're going to find every snake hole you can.
Well, let's jump into Toledo Bend real quick, man. You and the winner were the only 2 anglers with three 20+ pound bags for the event.
Shoo.
That's pretty freaking awesome, man.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
It was something else, man. Like I was saying on the stage, I'd never caught a 20-pound bag on a solo event, like BFLs, Opens, anything like that. And I caught one. I mean, like I said, I didn't have a great practice. Like, I mean, I had a decent practice. Like I said, I was slowly getting dialed in, shaking them off, doing the good stuff. And that's another thing a lot of people need to be careful with is when you're shallow water fishing, man, you can stab yourself. I mean, anybody can win practice, it seems like. Practice is easy to win. So that's another
I've won
thing,
a ton of practices in my time.
Come on. I mean, hey, I figured out they don't give you trophies. I figured that out. So
they make good pictures, but I don't get much else out of it.
That's what I'm saying. But no, it was one of the things. Like, I know one day, I mean, it's hard to do, but I mean, I didn't catch over 5 keepers on a practice day. I mean, one day I shook off 27 bites up shallow, and that was my last day when I was really, really getting focused in on it. And like I said, I had 27 waypoints of fish I had shook off, and I think they were on the last verge. Some were post spawn that just hadn't left yet, hadn't went out there and scrammed to deep water yet, suspend. They're just like super just immediate. And I never caught a pre-spawn, but I mean, it was basically either spawn or just immediate post spawn. There's a lot of fish I was catching up shallow. And then I had a few deep holes that, and like I said, in practice, I never found any on them. I found one deep hole. I caught one good one. I was like, keep it in the arsenal up here. But like I said, it just started changing, as y'all could see through the days. But the first day, I started on a stretch, and it was me and one other guy, because I was running north. I was a north guy. I was staying away from all that 6 mile housing, local pressure, tournament pressure, every kind. I mean, on that lake, I learned if you want to know where grass is, just look for boats. I mean, just look for boats. It's crazy. I mean, it was nuts on that type of thing. But I did figure that out. I idled for 2 days straight. Daylight to whenever you can get off the water on those tournaments. And I found one school of like 12-inch to 14, 15-inch spots.
Right.
And I could catch 80 of them if I wanted to on a jig and spoon or any kind of like a Z2 from Strike King, anything like that. So I was really up here turning. And the next day, I went shallow like I should have. Like I said, fish your strength. That's another thing. Fish your strength. And I went up there and I got a bite. And I'm like, oh, got another bite. Then it just started leading on. So it was incredible, really. It really was.
Is Toledo Bend really ate up with a lot of spots, or is it?
It's one of them lakes where now what I've heard, like a 3-pounder is an absolute giant, giant. But I mean, it's chock full of 12 to 14 inches, chock full. It seems like. I mean, those are on a plentiful load, for sure. But anything over that, I mean, they're not easy to. They're pretty rare. So.
Wow. Yeah, that's we got a couple lakes around here, the same spots have pretty much taken over, but we're hearing, which is good. The tiger bass are going to be putting a lot of lakes around Virginia. And
Yeah.
you mentioned Clarksville, Virginia, Bugs Island, where you be going next. We're trying to, I've had a guy reach out to me, and we're trying to get them put in that lake as well. So I mean, it's the spotted bass will take over a fishery real freaking quick, almost destroy
Yes,
it, to
sir.
be honest, if you ask me.
Yep. I mean, like I said, and a lot of the spots, like, I mean, you go down to Alabama, the Coosa River spot. I mean,
Yeah.
those are the only like spots that get like tournament size, like giant. I mean, don't get me
Mhm.
wrong, like little Kentucky stuff like that. I mean, they're 12 inches, 14 inches on the average. Like today, we caught some out here on the river that weighed 2.5. And I mean, I was like, dang, that's a big spot,
Yeah.
on that type of thing. So they remain. I'll give them that.
That's awesome. Again, guys, we'll go through this real quick. Day one, he had 2112. Day two, 2301. And day three, 2208. So you're consistent the whole daggone time.
Mhm.
And to be honest, I kind of looked at it. If it wasn't for his 29 pounds on day one, you might have actually won his daggone thing.
Yes, sir. That's the thing that was. It was very. I mean, like I said, it's tournament fishing, man. Like I said, I just wasn't getting big bites. I could catch 4 and 5 pounders. Like I know the day two, I was calling 4.15 on the small side, not 4.15 and 3/4,
Yeah.
4 and a
Right,
quarter,
right.
something like that. So I mean, when you're calling those, that don't happen every day. I mean, it was one of them deals where I was
No.
calling like the first day I was calling like a 380. I had all just like perfect size across the board. The first day I had one 6 pounder. That was my biggest one. I had a 6 pounder. The first day flipping a tree, just like a little tree about that big on a 6 pounder. But I mean, day two was incredible. It really was. Like I said, I was calling 3.5 pounder by 10, about
Oh,
10:30. I
wow.
was calling 3 pounders. But the first day, before I figured it out, I tried to do some offshore stuff, mix it in, big swim bait, so on. And I didn't have a keeper till 11. And I went up to hit my first stretch, and all of a sudden I flipped up there, and it's don't swim off. And that's another thing with flipping is like, I mean, tournament morning, you get a good boat number. That's your go up here is go to your best
Right.
spot, fish it, whatever else.
Yeah.
But when you go and do that, and I hit my best flipping stretch, and I fished it till like 9 and didn't get a bite, like that up here,
Dang.
it's
Oh
like
yeah.
starting to turn. And then all of a sudden that sun popped, and I guess it just sucked them in. And that's the main thing. I knew better. I really did. I did know better. But I just figured if they were spawning, they would sit there real tight to the bushes. But I guess I guess a lot of them on this spot wasn't. And right when that sun come out, it sucked them to the bushes, and I started catching them. So that was definitely a big player to me, was sun on a lot of the days, because it would pop out for a few 3 or 4 hours, and it would just go back in, and then I'd slow down a little bit. I'd maybe go offshore and it'd pop out, and then I'd go back in, catch a few more on that type of stuff. But like I said, the first day I did find an offshore place, like a hard spot. I caught 2, and then I lost like a 4.5 pounder.
Oh, wow.
And I knew they were there, but I couldn't get them to fire on the regular. But like I said, the last day, it was one of the days where the water had dropped on me, actually. The first 2 days, I caught them flipping. And the third day, like y'all had seen, I started with a big swim bait out offshore on the 3 to 5 foot flat, like I said, like that. And I had a really good morning bite. I should have had a limit. And gosh, that was sad. I mean, I should have had a limit in 10 casts like that. As you can see on the photos, there was a lot of catching and losing, and then catching and losing. It was
Yes.
one of them days. Like I said, there's one fish that come up, ate my swim bait, wrapped the tail around the hook, and when I set the hook, it just like the hook the tail just wrapped around the whole deal, and he never
Holy
got
Oh
it.
my
cow.
God.
So yeah, it was one of the mornings. But like I said, I had 3 in the box, and they were all good ones. And so then I left, and I went shallow, and that's when I looked up there on the trees, and it's got a water line, like at least that much on it. and I fished 3 or 4 stretches. And I didn't realize, I should have checked. Another thing is, I only seen one tournament boat up my way.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I pull up there Saturday morning, and there's four locals sitting on my starting stretch,
Ooh.
and then there's 3 locals sitting on my other starting stretch right across the bay. So it was definitely different. I asked him, I was like, man, is it a local tournament? He's like, yeah, the big local derby. And it was flooded, absolutely flooded. All the shallow stuff was flooded with local anglers. So I was like, I knew I had to do something because I had 3. I was like, man, if I can just like control second, keep enough where I can stay up there and get that, because there's a big pay difference from second to third. So, and I was like, if I can just hold that, I mean, I'm very worthy. And so I was trying to do that, and then all of a sudden the sun popped out, and I was like thinking, and man, I don't know what I had, that gut feeling, you know. I had this one hard spot I hadn't hit yet all deal, and I knew that I thought I saw some fish on side scan there early in the practice. So I run over, and like I said, you got to idle everywhere in Toledo. I mean, like, you get off the boat lanes and you just like idle forever, and it's like miserable because you're all like jacked up, and you're like sitting there idling, and you're like all pumped up and can't do nothing. So I finally get there, and I put down the trolling motor, and sure enough, I look up her because I couldn't tell way off. There's a crappie guy, literally anchored, wrapped around the stump that I was like line up with and throw on this hard spot.
Oh, geez.
And I get up there, I'm like, hey man, like, I'm in the open, I'm sitting second. He's like, okay, hey man, come on. I'm like, all right, well, he's like, you come and fish. I'm like, well, my cast is like right off the end of your trolling motor. He's like, okay. So he's like, he reels all his rods in, and he's like, go on. So he gets his phone out, videoing, and sure enough, I pick up the old 5XD right here.
Yes.
Oh,
and 7-Eleven, Legend Glass, throw it out there as far as I can, reel it down. I see him on live scope. There's like 5 down there. I'm like, dude, they're good ones. I was literally just talking to him. We were so close. I was like, you see that? I don't know if y'all see him, but he was trying to live scope. I'm like, they're there. Yeah. There's like 5 big ones. He's like, man, I can't see him, but catch him. I'm like, okay. I crank it down there. I feel it bounce off once, and it just loads up. 4-pounder. I'm like, okay, land that one. Get on hook. Fire it back out there, reel it down, bump a bottom, bam, 4-pounder. Land that one, fire it back out there, and I catch another one like 4 3/4, 5 pound. Land that one. I was like coaling like everywhere. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Wow, like, that's awesome.
That guy was fired up. He was yelling, hooping and hollering, like best moment of my life. Like, he absolutely made my day. So,
that is so freaking cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I was like sitting there with my bag at weigh, and he's like, dude, what's up? And like, Louisiana's, I'm sorry, like, it's the funniest thing. They say bruh. Like, bruh.
Yeah.
Like, bruh. Like, bruh. I love it. Like, it makes my heart smile.
Yeah.
He's like, bro, what's up? And I'm like, I look over, I'm like, I know you. And then we all like started like hooping and hollering, and he come to weigh in to watch. So
that is awesome, cool.
That's
an awesome story, everyone. That
yes,
really,
sir.
That really is. Let's dive into, we'll go back to the baits in a second and talk about those that, helped you finish the second place, took home $25,274, guys. My last job, that was my paycheck for the year. What you just won in this tournament, okay?
That'll pay for a couple more tournaments, a couple more opens.
Yeah, right. Yeah, maybe one house.
Yeah.
Grocery stops.
Yeah. Yeah.
But let's talk about the positive mental attitude and talking about not spinning
exactly
out.
Right.
And go into that a little bit as a young angler. How you deal with that. We talk a lot about to some of the seasoned anglers, and I'm not saying you're not seasoned, but I'm talking about I guess more like mine and Geek's age. But how do you deal with that not spinning out aspect?
Absolutely. Like, I know that it's totally different. Like, now my deal is staying like healthy. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, it helps me so much. Like, if I'm just, and now don't get me wrong, like mental, physical, you would think totally different. But man, if you're out there, and you don't got them both together, it makes it so much harder up here. Like, so much harder. You get lazy, so that makes you spin out twice as fast. Yes, you get tired. So I tell you what, man, if you get out there, you get you a mixture, you get you a hydrate, you get you a quick snack, you get you a efficient snack. Okay, all this goes together for me on positivity, staying good, staying in the right mind. Like, a sequence on like eating. Like me, you can go and buy tortillas from Walmart. It's cheap. I'll tell you, you can get you some turkey, lay it down, put you whatever you like, ingredients, mustard, ketchup, whatever, and roll it up and just cut it in a bunch of little bite size, put it in a plastic baggie, and get you whatever you like for focus. I know they make like deals where you can put it in your like whatever they call it, where you dump it in your drink, mix it up, shake it out. And that is like a super. Actually, I got some right here. Let me see. It is called. Yeah, it's right here. Corby.
Oh, okay.
Platinum. Corby.
That's awesome.
Right there. That right there. I'll say these are the two flavors I threw or drink right here.
I may have to try that.
It's the pink and the yellow. Like it is absolutely amazing. Like you can almost feel like as soon as you can chug it like that, and like you can just feel it like that. It's more of like a focus deal on a lot of stuff like that, and that helps me a ton. Like I said though, like when you get hungry, maybe get you a snack where you won't have like on idling lakes. Okay, anytime you're idling, I know a lot of people won't think about it, but that's an amazing time to do that right there. Mix them up in the morning, 2 or 3 bottles. What I do is actually I mix both of them in 1 bottle of water. And I don't know what it does, but it's amazing. It really is. Like it's super good. And
you mix both flavors in 1 bottle of water?
Yes, sir.
Holy cow.
Yep. It's super good. Isn't it right?
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, it's super good. Like I got my buddy here and he loves it too. So it's like it is.
Who's it made by real quick?
Corvive.
Yep.
Corvive? Okay. That's all we need.
It's called Corvive, what it is. The pink one's Hydrate, and the yellow one is NRG and Focus.
Yep.
All right. Well, there you guys go. Here's a little tip, something you could
there you go
while you're out on the water. I mean,
yes, sir. Actually, all of that right here, where y'all can get a good look. But no, it is one of them things where I'm telling you, just that in mind. This is just starting to the positive game. This is what helps everything go together. And I mean, once you get that, once you stay on your physical side, I tell you what, it helps you so much just being honed in, focused. You don't have to try as hard. It don't take as much energy.
Right.
It don't take as much mental focus. I mean, stuff like that. You already got half of it. And then when it gets to that, it's basically how much you want to basically push yourself. And it's basically on yourself from then on. It's basically how much you want to push yourself, focus, more like discipline on that type of thing. Like I said, that's for me the most important thing for sure. And basically, I mean, like I said, not everything's positive. There can be plenty of things that you never fit too much wrong stuff in a day. It feels like once one thing goes, it's just
it's like a domino effect.
Yeah, like I said, but I mean, everybody knows, like some days it's not one of the deals where you have something bad happen and then you catch a good one and then it's all fine. You know, some days it don't happen. Some days it don't happen like that. So it's just one of them things, man. It's just stay positive on that side of it. I mean, just go after it. Every next flip, you got to think of. I mean, I had a guy tell me, he's like, man, every log you look at, just think there could be a 5-pounder right sitting there right there.
True.
I mean, he's like super like mental into it. Me, I'm less cautious, less like just straight to it. So I'm a little bit more forgiving on myself on that type of thing. But just staying in it is another good word for it. Just not getting lazy with it is a super good thing.
All right, guys. Absolutely. There's some good information for all them young anglers out there, and hopefully help you guys. You know, we all have that. You know, I ain't gonna lie, I'm old too. Some days, you know, get out there, you're pumped, you're there. And by lunchtime, it's like, can I throw this crap in a trash can and head home? I mean, that's how you feel. I mean, really.
That's me. See, here, my mental attitude is if it's real slow and I got to pull a drop shot or a Carolina rig out, I'm going for beer and wings.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, me and a buddy of mine went fishing. It's been a while now. We were out, and it was awful. We were on Smith Mountain Lake. Nothing was happening whatsoever. We locked the boat up and went and ate some lunch. I mean, we just said, the heck with this crap. But so, I mean, we all have days like that. And, you know, just like you said, the ways that you deal with them. But let's dive back into those baits that helped you finish in second place, brother, on Toledo Bend.
Absolutely. Yeah, like I said, and another thing about like 5XDs, like this one right here, like I said, there's so many different ways. Like, okay, I'll teach. Let's see if we can get it. Okay, so as y'all can see this right here, there's like a little knot right there. I mean, sometimes like not all 5XDs are ready to throw out of the package. Okay. That's another thing that you will definitely notice if you crank. Okay. Like I said, a 6XD is the same way. Usually you throw a 5 and a 6 pretty back to back on a lot of stuff. Cause I mean, if I ain't digging, I'm not liking it. Okay. That's just me. That's how I crank. So that's another thing. All you do is got to take a pair of pliers, come vertical with it, up and down like this, and you just got to, whichever way it's running, either bend it left or right on that side, and I mean it'll straighten right out after you know it and tune it like that. And that's another thing. Like, I mean, if you don't have it running straight, sometimes it'll roll over on its side and get hung right here. Because I know I got a tree out on Toledo Bend right now that's got at least 10 of these crankbaits on the top of it.
Yeah.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
I know how it is. But for sure, like, I mean, this is definitely one of them, as y'all can see. I mean, it is an amazing bait.
Are you a
on that
big
side of
change? Do
things.
you change out your hooks or do anything crazy with those?
Yes, sir. Like I said, these have just got the stock hooks on it. This is not the exact one.
Okay.
Exact color, but not the exact crankbait. I put a like a G finesse on them.
Yeah.
It just now on size, it just depends. Like I said, it just depends on what cover I'm fishing. So like if I'm fishing more of like, hey, I'm gonna try to reel my 5XD through a brush pile, I'm not gonna oversize them. I'm not downsized. I'm not gonna downsize, but I'm probably gonna stay just with the stock hooks. But if I'm cranking like a hard spot, something like that, I'm gonna probably try to oversize one size.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, it never hurts on that side of things. And then this bait right here, this is another one. This is a Strike King baby structure jig. And like I said, I mean, this little guy right here is my bread and butter. Like I can't tell you how good this thing is, really. I mean, they make a lot of different colors. As y'all can see, it's a 3/8. It's good purple color. I put a Rage Menace on the back of it for like swimming action, anything
Which
else
is
like that. I can
a great bait all by
Yes,
itself
another
and on
great
a
bait,
lot of
yes.
different things right there.
Yes, sir. Like especially like a type of spawning, anything else like that. You can take those tails on that Rage Green Pumpkin Menace and paint them black, and man, that thing is it gets them good.
He's dropping
Gets them good.
He's dropping some tips tonight, boys and girls. Hope you guys are listening. Holy cow!
I know, a little open tonight. It'll be all right. But no, it's this right here is a good bait, and like I said, like this time of year is like you get in that funk every once in a while. I mean, it's just after spawn. There's some pre-spawn. There's some fry garters, so on like that. So anything around the brim color, I mean, is what I'm looking for on anything jig, shallow water cover, stuff like that. So I mean, if I'm gonna throw something, it's definitely gonna be trying to represent a brim because brim are hated. Like hated.
Oh yeah.
Okay? I mean, they are mean. Like I mean, they danger a bass's bed. They danger fry. They danger beds. I mean.
Try this sometimes. I'm going to give you something to add to your arsenal. The Rage Bug, watermelon red. Just take you a little bit of chartreuse, just the flange, just the back side. Don't tear the side arms apart. Leave that tight and rig it up to where you can flip it, especially if you're seeing a lot of small brim, a lot of small gill up shallow, because it looks just like one swimming down, man. You can flip it. Especially when they start getting up on the beds, man, they will kill it.
I like that. Absolutely, man.
And you have one more.
But it's like I said, those were my two main ones on the type of thing. That's the one I caught them on the last day, and those are the three that I caught 90% of my fish on. Other ones were just flukes for the most part. Those are my 90%. Those are the first two I had on my deck. I had like 5 rods on the deck, and those other ones were just for extra confidence. But these right here are the ones. If I had to go tomorrow, I could pick up, and I know I could go out there. And
That's awesome.
That spot still gives me the chills.
That's awesome.
So,
all right, guys. Like Trey was saying earlier, Bugs Island is next, right here in Central Virginia. For all the Virginia listeners, what is it? 225 have signed up for the event.
Yes, so,
stay away from Bugs Island, by the way. Crazy.
Basically.
Here you go, guys, boys and girls. This happened will happen at Bugs Island on that weekend. The open is that Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and then the Bass Nation of Virginia is Saturday and Sunday.
Crazy.
I feel bad for them folks.
Yeah.
I feel bad for
I
them
mean,
folks. I'm sorry.
I mean, like I told someone today, I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if every fish you caught hadn't been hooked by someone already. I mean, 225 boats, and that's got angler and co-angler in it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're talking about
450.
450 people catching bass all over. Now, Bogues Island's big. Don't get me wrong, guys. Bogues is huge. It is the biggest lake we have because it goes all into North Carolina. So, I mean, it's huge, but it's going to be an awesome event. Hopefully, we'll see some bigger bags. But you are right on the weights. We did have a couple tournaments over the weekend on Bogues Island, and it was 16 pounds-ish, 14 pounds-ish, what it took to get a check to win. So,
So that's why I hope. I mean, we shall see on how she plays out, stuff like that. I think a lot of it just depends on water level. I feel like a lot of good sacks will wade in if they get pushed towards the bank.
Yeah.
A lot of it. I mean, that's for me. I'm just that type of guy, fisherman. But I feel like they'll probably be on all stages by the time we get there. I know in pre-practice I saw one spawning. So, and that's been 2 or 3 weeks ago or whatever before the off limits there was. So,
Yeah.
I definitely feel like they'll be in that kind of that funk, but all stages. So it just depends on what kind of fish you find, on how big they are, or how spawned out they are, type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Trey, man,
Yes, sir.
we appreciate you coming on. Nice show. Thank you for hanging out in the parking lot with us a little bit tonight.
No problem.
And really, really appreciate you having you back. I mean, I apologize. It's been 2 freaking years, but guys, where can people find you on social media? Any sponsors you like to thank? Anything of that nature before you roll on to the house?
Absolutely. Like I said, I mean, I couldn't do this without all my sponsors. I mean, my family is definitely a number one supporter. I mean, it's St. Croix, Lithium Pros, Charger Boats, Power Pole. Actually, Honda this year is a big supporter.
Oh, cool.
And I mean, we've had, and like I said, it's a little different. I mean, as y'all can see, she's back here, shine, and I mean, it's definitely different. I'm definitely gonna stand out of the field. I think I was the only shiny motor out of 225 guys, but it's never a bad thing. Never a bad thing.
Nope.
But no, it's definitely been a good year. Like I said, I got social media on Trey McKinney Fishing. It's TreyMcKinney and then fishing there. So hopefully y'all can follow along. Hopefully we can continue the journey. Hopefully we can see if we can get the record for the youngest ever on the elites. But like I said, hey,
awesome, dude.
I'll follow on the Lord's path, and we're going to see if he takes me there or not. And he's got a path either way. It's meant for me. So we'll see where it goes.
Trey, man, we appreciate you talking to us. Thank you for coming on. Guys, we'll be right back. All right, guys, really appreciate Trey coming back on and talking with us tonight. Guys, I mean, you guys really need to follow this young man. Man knows what,
Yeah.
He sounded like a 30-year-old, and he's 18. So, I mean, the boy knows what he's doing. He's cashing checks. And like you said at the end, man, hopefully he is the youngest angler to ever make the Bassmaster Elite Series.
Oh, yeah.
And I think he could do it, and I think he could probably almost compete against anyone, to be honest.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, he's got his head on straight. I mean, he really pays attention to the details. You know, talking about the connection between the mind and body right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty ahead of his time. You know, I know when I was young, I treated my body like it was like I had 2 spares in the closet.
I was long. I was like probably one of the tallest ones in my class at the time, and I wasn't but like 5'11", 6 foot, and skinny. And I played soccer, and I just run my butt off, and that's all I would do. I was actually a wing, left or right wing. I can't remember which wing it was, but I played soccer all my life. So, yeah, I mean, it's like, and I think soccer ain't rough. Football's rough. Don't get me wrong, but soccer, they get crazy in that thing too. So,
you know, football was the least of what I did. Most of it's probably still not out of the statute of limitations, so I can't talk about it.
So, guys, we really appreciate Trey coming on and talking with us. Like I said, I mean, please hit the like button on his Instagram and follow him throughout the rest of this year. Guys, holy cow. Geek, we hadn't talked about this before, but we got a Bassmaster Elite this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
We got an NPFL this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Next weekend, we got another Major League Fishing tournament coming up.
Yep.
And I posted the press release from that, and I think it's like some big extra money involved in it as well. Hopefully you've read that on the basscast.com by now. So the next couple of weekends here are going to be wide open. And then the basscast.com has its next tournament on Smith Mountain Lake Saturday. And we know it's going to rain. Well, let's hope it moves out, blows off somewhere else, and maybe the wind continues to blow and it gets out of here real quick. But we know it's going to rain, but we don't cancel because of rain. Sorry. They make rain suits for that. Just saying. They make rain suits.
It's true. I got two.
Yeah, I actually need one, but I don't have one. But maybe one day here I can get one soon. That's like right now it's a college payment for me, by the way.
I understand.
Just say that. Because they are $400 for a good rain suit.
God,
but they're worth every penny of it. And if you treat it well, it'll last you quite a long time. So
it will.
Geek, before we go, man, you dropped a video yesterday.
Well,
this
yesterday.
Goes on Thursday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's doing quite well. It is it's a spinnerbait video, and I don't want to spoil it, but it is a pretty cool twist on the spinnerbait. So you should go check it out. It really makes the spinnerbait to where it's almost like that's the only spinnerbait you need. You can you can change it so many different ways that it's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive from our buddy over at Omega.
Yes,
Mr. Taylor Watkins.
Yes, so, Mr. Watkins. Yeah,
that
is awesome. So, guys, head on over, check out the latest video from Bass Geek, and we'll see you guys on the water this weekend somewhere. Like I said, it's a pretty quiet weekend besides mine. I think there is some other stuff happening, but a guy told me the other day, I don't know where you're going to show up. And it's pretty much right. I just pick some events and go if it ain't mine. So, by the way, before we leave, head on over now and download the Fish It app to keep track of your tournaments, your practice, everything that you need throughout the year to research. I mean, I know we research like, Trey was talking about, we do the Google, we do all that stuff. But once you get out on the water, you do have the locations that you have all mapped, and it's all in all your, your fish finders and all that stuff. But it'd be pretty cool just to map out what you caught them on. It keeps track of everything for you. And that's the prettiest coolest thing about it. So, and as we get older, we definitely need it.
I agree.
Some days I can't remember what I did yesterday. I ain't gonna lie. And I'm turning 50 this year. So that's it. I mean, holy cow, does it get worse? So download the Fish It app today and have a great night, everyone. And we'll be back next week.